Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. And as always, I'm just going to wait a couple minutes to see who's here, if you can hear me. Awesome. I think folks are jumping on. Welcome. Good morning. Oh, good morning, Carly. Good morning, Patricia. If you can hear me, oh, good. Thumbs up so you can hear me. Great. Mikizela. Oh, yes. Good morning. You can hear me. Sometimes there's a delay a little bit. Oh, Carolyn. Hello. Good morning. So we're going to wait a minute. There's just a couple. I'm just checking other technologies. It's been a little bit interesting lately for technology. Okay. Oh, morning. Good morning from Cornwall. Oh, good. Gosh, I guess it's like afternoon there. Waving with frozen hands. Yes. Yvonne, are you in Asheville? It is cold here, y'all. It is like definitely cold. Miami. What? Nice, Iris. You are not in the snow. And you're not in Holland. Oh, good morning, Susan. You're up in West Virginia, Southwest Virginia. That is cold. Good morning, Tracy. So we're just gonna let a couple minutes jump on and get everyone settled. So we are going to be working with a juicy topic this morning on the blood and from the esoteric and energetic perspectives. So this is not from a physical. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an herbalist. So if you have blood issues, please, this is speaking strictly from an energetic perspective. So I had a couple people ask, whatever we're learning, if we do enough, if they can, stop some of their medication. No, like no one stop any medications from this meditation. And I just say that because I have no idea what's going on with you, and I'm not a doctor or a naturopath or anything like that. So this is from the energetic spiritual perspective, and this is from the esoteric healing lineage, as well as some mystery school information coming through, and why we work with the blood, and how the blood is a carrier of some of the higher frequencies, the higher different aspects to come into the circulatory system that helps bring the spiritual energies into form. So we have the nervous system, we have the nadi. So the nervous system of the body is on the physical level, is the interface between a lot of the spiritual energies, higher frequencies, and the body. Is the highest tuned physical system that we have, the nervous system. And then you have the nadis, which are the etheric nervous system that's in the energy body, and it's similar to meridians. So meridians, nadis, they come from different. The nadis are from the Indian or the yogic philosophy and lineage, and then the meridians are from the Chinese perspective. So same. They, of course, they work with them a little bit differently, but so the nadis. So you have the nadis, and then the nadis, you have the nervous system. And so how the blood comes in with all of this is that there is an interface of the energy of, where our spiritual fire, or our ojas, ojas, ojas meaning life force. So it's a little bit different than chi. So it's not necessarily like when we build the chi or the prana in the dantian and you do qigong or tai chi. This is a little bit different. And again, like the mind's not necessarily going to grok it. We're just going to experience it. So the ojas comes in via the blood in the heart system. So what we are going to do is look at, the circulatory system, but our blood specifically. So our blood carries so much, right? Like when we say like our blood lineage, right? So we talk a lot about that when we're talking about our DNA, when we're talking about our ancestral lineages, when they talked about, gosh, how many people, we talk about the bloodlines, right? And like, especially back in the day, like how important, like, oh, what are your bloodlines? So there's always been this esoteric, even if it wasn't conscious, or this importance, right? So it's more than just, king and king and king and king, or queen and queen and queen, like coming from a certain like royal bloodline. Well, what does that mean? Why didn't they say like, um, and for them it was the DNA equaled the blood, but they could have said something else completely different, and they didn't, because the blood really does carry a certain esoteric imprint of not only where we've come from in our lineages, but also our spiritual blueprint as well. I'm just going to pause and see if there's any. Oh, so Alexandra, so nadis, NADIS, which is like the meridians from the Chinese perspective. So the yogis work with the nadis. So when we're in Kundalini yoga or different Vedic systems, like if you're working with Ayurveda system, they will go into like how to clear different nadis as well. And the nadis too, and the meridians to some degree, but especially the nadis, follow similar the pathways of the nervous system. So it's the etheric nervous system. And again, it's like the interface of energy and physicality, right? Like there's got to be a step down that's sustainable. We can't go from like pure energy, pure spirit into physical form. We blow out, right? I think some of us probably have had those experiences where like we had so much energy come in that our nervous systems weren't wired or trained to be able to hold it. So we might have peak experiences, whether that's in a class, a workshop, or in a ceremony, or your own meditation, but you can't necessarily sustain that consciousness. So if energy is consciousness, that frequency, so we might have like peak moment where it's like all one, or we have all these realizations, and then sometimes we crash, we even go like swing the other way. Or it's like a dream, almost like days go by and it's like that you haven't quite been able to hold that consciousness, hold that frequency. And so and that can happen in like these peak high experiences. And so why that there are it's important to have slow and steady practices of meditation, slow and steady practices of breath work, things that are tuning your physical body to also interface with your energetic and spiritual body, so you'll be able to sustain the higher frequencies, sustain that consciousness. And sometimes it's like when you look back at, like, let's say your year, you're looking back at your when your birthday comes around, and it's like, oh, okay, that thing, or that place of forgiveness, or I am trusting more, or I am, it's just like you worked on it slowly over time, and then you become it. And that's really overall like why the sages from all traditions, slow and steady, because it's a sustained consciousness that we're looking for. Sometimes those peak experiences are helpful, they're important to get perspective, but frequently we're not able to hold it. And that's where nothing takes the place of regular practice, regular internal practice, whatever your spiritual practice is, whatever your personal development energy practice is. Nothing really takes the place of that, because and I witnessed this so much too in ceremonies, whether it's um, different kind of ceremonies. It's the letdown of realizing like you have these big aha moments, and it's beautiful. And but then the letdown a couple weeks later, or when I'm working with a client, that it's like you see the potential or a perspective, but then it's not landing in your life. And quite frequently, the energy the energy is like, well, or the feeling is like, well, what now? Like, how do I? And that just comes again with sustained practice. Are there more nadis than chakras? What is the relationship between the two? I know only 3 nadis, way more chakras. So actually, and I'm not going to get into it too much because we're going to just jump into the blood. That's a whole other topic, but there are more. The nadis is an actual, like if you can think of your nervous system, right? So it's a web. So the nadis are actually overlaying your nervous system, and so yes, they're actually more nadis than chakras. And because it's not the nadi system, there's some key nadis, but it's an actual web. It's again, think of your nervous system, but in the etheric. So think of the meridians, right? There's like a ton of meridians all over the place. And that is how the energy is moving. When you put the needles and the energy moves, the nadis is the same concept. It's just, again, from the Vedic tradition. So there's not, so Claire, so there from my, and this is from the Vedic system, the yogic system, and the esoteric system. So there's not just nadis like chakras. Again, like there's main nadis, but it's again, it's a pathway. Maybe I'll do a Facebook Live on that sometime because as a whole, it's a deep topic. Okay, so blood. blood. Blood is our blood is the transfer, like when it's like our breath stops, we pass on, but if our blood stops, our breath stops, then we pass on. The heart pumping the blood, the DNA is carried in the blood, and it's carried only in the white blood cells. So the hemoglobin, the red blood cells, do not have DNA. But the white blood cells do. And so we are going to work with, go into an experiential, guided experience of checking out, like, how does your blood feel? Does your blood feel in present time? And for those of you who've been working with me for a bit, you'll and for those who aren't, I say a lot, like, what we're going to get in present time when we're grounding into the earth, like, is our grounding in present time? So we can put our attention onto something, but if there's a lot of past energy or even future energy, then we think we can be clearing, but then we add in, is I'll give an example, is the solar plexus in present time. That shifts what we're looking at, what we're feeling, what we're sensing. So we're going to see, like, is our blood flow in present time? Now, all of this, don't worry, like 9 out of 10 times, especially, we don't usually wake up in the morning and like check in, like, oh, okay, blood, get into present time. Like, that's just not how we roll in our world. So we're gonna, there's gonna be things that move. We're gonna look at do a basic clearing and a basic grounding of our blood, and seeing what comes up and what gets cleared. So as always, my guides will be working with us. For those who have not sat with me before, I'll be using sound as an avenue to transform and to transmit the healing and energies that are coming through. So I will be making all sorts of sounds, snapping, burping, all sorts of sounds. Might sound weird. And yeah, enjoy. It's a powerful practice to be able to tune into your blood and to not only get it in present time, but to reclaim it, especially when we are working through a lot of ancestral healing and ancestral clearing. We just came off of the Samhain ancestral 3-day a couple weeks ago. So it's perfect timing of, as we're clearing from our own lineages, it's good to see like what's still in our blood, like what's the coagulation, so to speak, energetically. And so you might sense things, you might see things, you might not feel anything. All is appropriate. It's just more of curiosity and experience. So we're going to start here in a minute, and I'll be guiding through different layers of the blood to clear. And afterwards, it's definitely important to drink a lot of water today. Be mindful of self care. Um, yeah, if there's any questions, and then we'll jump in. Okay. I don't think there's any questions. And next week, just so I'll get all the mental talk out of the way. So next week, we're going to be working with power and working with um, Sekhmet specifically, but to work with getting our power in present time and to reclaim it. So we're on a, it's going into the dark months. It's been an intense month, Scorpio season for a lot of folks. The veils are thinning more and more just on a regular basis, and things are clearing in a way much quicker. So we are on this path of how do we also create life force and vitality to be able to sustain all of this movement. We're in unprecedented, that's not quite what I mean, unprecedented times. Anyways, and we are pioneers to be able to work on this level at this time and how quickly things are going. This was not ever before, even in ancient times. And if we remember our past lives of being priestesses, witches, magicians, temple keepers, wisdom keepers, there wasn't the speed, the veils. This is truly, we are living in a time of prophecy that has been acknowledged from different traditions all over the world. And so, I share this to, as you are moving through your life, and sometimes it can feel like, whoa, I can't even catch up, great compassion for yourself. Because again, like, we are living in a time of prophecy, which is quite special. We've all chosen to incarnate at this time, and it is intense. And it's intense living in the modern era where everything, you know, esoterically, energetically, spiritually, everything emotionally is happening super fast. And then our physical world is happening at a rate that it can feel quite overwhelming, exhausting at times. So just let yourself um, off the hook some, like when it's like, when you're like, fuck, I'm losing my shit and I'm doing all my work and I just need to like zone out, like compassion. It's an intense time right now. So we try to create, you know, the best habits we can. And then sometimes it's like you do, just do what you got to do. So, all right. So exciting and intense. I know. It's like, it's just, I was at my sound teacher, Tom Kenyon's in Seattle over the weekend, and been going to him and studying with him for, I don't know, since 2007. So whatever the math is. And that's 12 years. And the frequencies, like we talked a lot about the energetics of also the brain and the nervous system. So we want to like help things keep staying in present time, because things are just, the multidimensional realities are just collapsing, right? It's like the veils are thinning more and more. I can't tell you how many more emails or messages and all different platforms I'm getting of people that are like just reaching out for help, of like, this is what's going on, this is what's happening. I'm like, am I crazy? Also my grandmother's coming in who passed, and this is happening. I mean, there's just the dimensions are definitely collapsing in a big way. So um we get to find what works for us and enjoy the ride. And part of that is these practices of helping, upgrade. helping upgrade to keep up with the frequencies, to keep up with the times. Okay. So, as always, we're going to start with um, a short grounding and focusing on the breath. And then we're going to move right into focusing on the blood and the clearing. Is already happening. I can feel it already moving, and guides are coming in. Okay. So there's going to be an added part to it. I'll just stop. All right, love. So finding a comfortable seated position. And letting yourself relax. Relax and ground. That is definitely part of the the invitation is how do we also relax within all of this? Relax in the becoming. Tuning into the breath and where your breath is landing this morning. Where's your attention? With each inhalation, summoning yourself to yourself. Exhale, lean back into your body energetically. Feeling the weight of your body on Pachamama, feeling the weight of your form being held by the earth. Tuning into your root center, Muladhara, the base center, breathing in. Saying hello, waking up the center, the will to be, the center connected deep into the earth. Saying hello from the base center to the center of the earth, to the center of Pachamama, Mother Gaia. Does your center already feel a little bit withdrawn and up, contracted? Does it feel nice and open and held by the mother? Just asking for balance and to relax into form. Relax into safety. Relax into being held. Even perhaps letting yourself sigh a couple times on the exhale. I like to give thanks for this divine appointment as we sit all together in this sacred hoop in this sacred temple space from all over the planet. Giving thanks for those guides and teachers and protectors in the unseen realms of light, gathering, gathering, gathering to be present around us, the archangels surrounding us in a circle of light and grace and protection. Our own personal guides and teachers gathering, holding space for you, your bloodlines. I ask that anything and everything that wishes to be revealed or healed be for the highest good for every single person on this call in present time and those who will watch afterwards. Hmm. Welcoming your personal guides ever closer to you. And if you have worked with your well ancestor, if you have not worked with your ancestors in that way, inviting in the well ones, then you can leave that part out. But we're asking for the well ones. There's specifically a couple, definitely for quite a few of you, that there's a celebration, a acknowledgement of a well one coming to join your side, particularly to the left, as your blood and their blood are one and the same, linking all timelines. And tuning into your heart, your physical heart. Seeing if you can tune in to the beat of your heart, the muscle pumping the blood, the arteries and veins coming out from your physical heart. So sending some gratitude, acknowledging the work, how much your heart does every single day, every moment, day and night. That continuous pump, the beat of your heart. And tuning into your blood. So feeling into that pathways that's in all over your body. And if that feels, you can just also work with your blood. Just asking for the aspect of your blood that wants to be worked with to come up. But tuning into the blood, the circulatory system as it goes all throughout your body. And even as you're listening right now, it's flowing. There's a system that goes away from the heart, the blood. There's a system that comes back to the heart. The arteries, the main arteries bringing your blood to all of your limbs. Acknowledging, sending gratitude to all of your blood cells throughout your entire body. Good. So even just by acknowledging, we don't even really have to do much. Just by acknowledging, bringing presence to our heart, our physical blood, and energy already starts to shift. There's more vitality, more presence. So first asking the first question, the first energy working with, is your blood in present time? Is your blood in present time? Trusting what you receive. You might just get a sense. You might hear a yes or a no. You might feel energies like tipping you in different directions because some of it's in present time, some of it's not. So just like we work with when we worked with other systems, we're asking that which is not in present time to show itself. So it's almost like bringing in a magnifying glass. You can visualize a section of your blood or just feel it throughout your body. So we're going to start letting the energies that are not in present time to leave the body via the grounding cord from the base of the spine, going all the way down into the center of the earth. There's some guides coming all around you too. They're blood cleaners. I've worked with the blood before, so allowing the energies to move in more of a broad way at the moment. It's almost like clearing the plaque energetically, like from, or there was that feeling of when you haven't brushed your teeth, you get like fuzzy sweaters on your teeth, that same feeling of like within the blood. Just moving the blood into more present time. Just asking now, a Taoist master is coming forth to work with us, hold space. We're asking what program. Again, this is just this is the working with the intuitive, letting yourself receive what wants to be offered. What programs, or just name one program at first, in that blood cell that's running in your blood. So again, there's a couple ways you can work with this. You can just feel an energetic lighting up. You don't need to go into story. You might sense or see some energy, like I'm seeing some almost like orange energy leaving the blood for some of you, representing some old patterns or an old story. Or you might highlight, if you're visual or you're sensing a different way, working with like a section, you can just like cross section a part of your blood and work with it that way as well. So what is a pattern? that's unconscious. It's been in the unconscious. We're highlighting it. So putting a flashlight of our awareness intention. So some things, I'm just going to name things that are coming up, leaving the blood. So a sense of weakness, actually, a weakness in the blood. It's not yours. It's not even a conscious thought. So we're asking weakness of the blood. Go down the grounding cord or simply letting the masters around us help clear. Also, some residue, some gray going into brown energy, leaving the collective blood circulatory system that has it's past. It's a carryover of toxins. So energetic toxins. I can feel it actually in my. I can taste it. Blah. So just letting that. So if that lights up in your body, you'll feel it in your system if that rings true for you, if that's a resonance, just letting some toxicity of the blood. Good. So also coming into, we're going to clear out you can't, the energy of you can't do it. So if you think about it, like when we exercise or run and do activity, our blood's pumping, right? And our blood's pumping. We have this sense of vitality, and there's an energy that's a bit of a film that's going kind of wrapping around the circulatory system, the vein system specifically for the group. There's just, you can't do it. This energy is coming in that's been seeded a long time ago. It's actually off planet. It's not from you, the lineage. So just, and if that's not understanding what that is, you can just let that go, or just working with the energy of you can't do it. Letting any of that energy drip off the veins within the blood cells. So just feeling into the blood pumping if there's any energy on any of the energetic levels of you can't do it. It lights up. You might feel it in different parts of your body. So I say that I'm feeling it in my right side. So actually, I'm feeling it particularly in the liver, like the blood cells of the liver. That's getting really detailed. Don't worry about it if that's like, well, I'm just having a hard time even feeling it. Just naming for the group what I'm seeing. So just letting the energy of you can't do it. And again, you might feel that energy, like you might feel it at the back of your head. and we're holding the circulatory system, we're holding the blood. So if you feel it at different places of your body, but you're like, oh, did I like not feel it? Am I just in the left side of my chest? Am I not focusing on the blood? It's like, no, the blood is that imprint. So just trusting sensations in your body or images that keeps clearing. So we have white buffalo calf woman coming into the space, helping beat her drum, remembering of the heartbeat, blood pumping, as well as a Cherokee elder coming hold space. So we're going to move on to feeling into memories of the blood. Cherokee elders coming in for this one, helping hold space, clearing the blood of memories, yours and not yours, the blood memories of the ancestors. Now, that's a big statement, that's a big energy. So, we're asking that whatever's available right now, like an apple that's ripe to be picked from the tree. So, we're not trying to reach out or grasp, but we're asking memories from the ancestor, your ancestor that's in the blood that is ready to be cleared. Oh yeah 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 oh yeah 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 oh yeah 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 oh yeah yeah gonna yeah oh yeah 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 oh yeah 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 oh yeah oh yeah oh yeah Turning back into the whole circulatory blood system and asking how much your blood is in present time now. Just getting a sense. We asked in the beginning, how much is your blood in present time? Sometimes you can just sense a gauge. You just might hear something. You might just know like 70%, 80%, 30%. Maybe not percentage. You just have a sense where you're at and just notice what you notice. From here, we're going to tune into the crown of the head, the crown center, letting the petals unfurl. Then up into your eighth center, your ba, your soul light, and from your soul light, all the way to the heart of spirit, the heart of the divine. Going into the great central sun, feeling the warmth, the light of spirit. Bringing in that light, coming in all the way down, all the way to your upper centers, to your eighth center. Letting that golden light come into the crown. When it comes into the crown, we're going to ask for the light. So the sun of the divine, the sun of your higher self, your soul, to come into the blood. So that the circulatory system, your blood system, gets bathed in this light of the divine, filling, remembering. So as a lot gets cleared from the blood, you fill it with that presence of upgraded frequency and present time, where your blood cells also become little golden suns, asking for the highest vibration that your blood cells can handle coming into your bloodstream now, activating, upgrading the DNA of the blood, the white blood cells. Letting the light come into your blood. Your blood system becomes a present time light. Good. Taking a few deep breaths, just breathing in more of that energy, letting the blood system activate. That pure prana life force coming in. Thanking the guides, the well ancestors for witnessing, being present, the help of Cherokee Elder, White Buffalo Calf Woman, the dragons, Kuan Yin. Guides holding space, Taoist master and his alchemy. Breathing into your whole body. Checking in with that grounding cord that goes from the base of the spine to the center of the earth. Checking in with the root. How does your root feel now? Letting it relax and receive, be supported. Checking back in with the heart, your heart center, the center of your chest. You might feel more activated. You might feel pressure. As we've been working with the heart center VI, the circulatory system, then tuning into your heart organ. Good. Breathing into the front body and the back body. Exhale. Let go. Notice what you notice before opening your eyes. It, we're working on this subtle energetic, so it might feel slight, but just notice what you notice. It's a different type of activation than when we're working with the nervous system or the chakras. There's an awakening that happens. It's subtle. Then slowly opening the eyes, letting the gaze be soft, taking in just a little bit light. Just letting your body move. And if you need to stay inward, if things are moving, please do so. So the invitation with, these is to get the activation started and to keep the process going. So specifically, if in any of those specific things that were up for the collective field, if that feels like, oh, there's a lot there, go back, ground yourself, feel your guides, feel your team around you, and go back and work with the blood. These are short morning meditations, and the invitation is, whatever lights up for you to be able to go in and activate that. And I'm curious if anyone wants to share their experience on the chat, which part lit up for you more? Did you feel it in the ancestors? Did you feel it in not present time? We all sense in different ways. The you can't do it looked like it was lighting up in quite a few people's fields. So, just notice, and it might have cleared completely. You might need to go back and work with that specifically. Does anyone have any questions or comments, or you might still be in it? Mm. I can't is big one. Yeah, that was big for me too when I was working with it. My back was burning. Yeah, you'll feel sometimes like this, the energy, right? Like where, and if you think about it, Iris, like what's in your back, like the solar plexus, the sacrum, or wherever it was in your back, like, okay, like that blood, it's kind of too like when you get cupping or something that's like, it's like the blood gets moving, right? And sometimes it can feel itchy. Let's see. I was sensing the energetic of the pattern rather than the physical place in the body. Yep. The you can't do it was definitely linked to the feminine wound and sacred feminine permission at this time for me. Yep. Oh, you're so welcome, Jessica. Tingling. Yep. Ancestors was big. Shedding of the blood. Wars. Yeah, it can be huge. Okay, so Alexandra, seems like there's also you can do this, but it won't be good enough. So we're all going to have the different stories, right? We're all going to have the different beliefs patterns, and so whatever came up for you, if you feel called, like go back and work with that. Go back and itching. Yeah, totally. There, it's wild. I was preparing for this, and um, a couple days when I was actually in Seattle, and I mean, I just felt like specifically too when I was working with parts that was stored in my solar plexus, like the blood in my solar plexus, it was like I had poison ivy or something. It's wild. It's like, right, we're working on the energy and it shows up. I felt really nauseous as we started, then it cleared. Yep, that can happen. Oh, you're so welcome, Sarah. It's good to see you. Or, hi. um, So your well ancestor was present during the whole session, never wavered, felt more discomfort in back of my head and neck. Yep, I was feeling it for some folks in the back of the head too. Um, so again, these are all in some ways diagnostic, and you just get to work with it and work with it gently, and make sure you have your ground as always, and let the energy move. And again, like, it's just, we can ask ourselves to get in present time in a vague way, and the more we can get all of our systems in present time, the more like we become. It's I want to say, I mean, it's easier on one level, right? Because there's not so much gunk in the way, but there's an invitation to wakefulness, right? That's what we're on, like the journey of awakening, embodiment. um, and that is this process of how like awake can we feel in all of ourselves. I had a great vision of the bloodstream in the nervous system, and it was located on my left leg and then released into the grounding cord. Beautiful. Very flushed and warm. Yeah. So I think I'll go back. I need to do it again. I really felt my blood as illuminated by the end. It was great. Thanks. You're so welcome. Yeah. So after you clear, when you work with this on your own, and this is true for any clearing, go back and fill yourself with illumination. Right. I love that word, illumination. So feel the illuminating light of your highest form of yourself, of spirit, of the divine coming in and upgrading. We want to feel that sun, that vitality within our blood, within our nervous system, within our whole cells too. So that's such an important part. So we're always in that. It's the same as the out breath, right? It's the same as everything in life. You have the out breath and you have the in breath. So you have the out breath that releases, you have the in breath that receives. So in all of the clearings we do, wherever it is, blood, nervous system, chakras, power, all the things that we'll be doing and have done, there's a release, and then there is a fortification. So we're filling, we're remembering, we're activating, as well as that those places, those patterns, the things we've carried, the things we're processing for our ancestors, it's not needed anymore, and so we're going to release. So I'm so glad. Thank you for spending your morning with me, and I will be here next week. Please feel free to share, tell your friends. I love the community growing, and so we'll be working with Power and Sekhmet, and well, I won't tell you too much. It's going to be juicy as well. And so we're going to keep fortifying. We're going to keep opening and really helping to anchor in. It's really the sun, the warmth, the light of our own consciousness. It's just we're now needing to make more space and upgrade so we can hold a different level of our own consciousness. All right, loves. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week.